What's up, Oceanside Tribe? It's Professor Doug with your weekly check-in. I hope this message finds you safe, healthy, and in good spirits. This week we've been talking about a very important one that I kind of hold near and dear to my heart just because of my own personal experiences, and that word is discipline. Now, when you first come to the word discipline, because of our experiences, majority of us can understand the idea of what discipline is. It's pushing through, that perseverance. It's that understanding of doing the right thing even when no one else is looking, or getting to the point of where we're able to make progress and repeat the process over and over again. And that's very true. That's one of the purest forms of discipline, and I understand that very well. I have my black belt because of that type of discipline. But one discipline that I did not know that I was very weak in was internal. When we think of discipline, we think of one word, and we think that when we have it, it applies to everything, and it doesn't. You can become very disciplined and orderly and systematic and consistent in one part of your life, while other parts of your life, you falter. And that's very normal. In fact, faltering, like we know, is a part of the process to success. But internal discipline that I have found is one of the hardest ones that I've struggled with to achieve and maintain. Maintain being a key word. When I was in the Marine Corps and also when I was a firefighter, all the years of being a firefighter and all the years of being a Marine, discipline was easier because it was connected to the people I was surrounded by. Discipline became very consistent because I knew what was expected of me and I knew what I needed to strive for. And there were people there working with me to help achieve that goal. And there were people there above me showing me where to go and how to achieve that goal. The discipline that I talk about is internal is when that group is gone, when there's no one showing you what to do. And usually those are when the demons and the stressors and the anxiety come out. And what do? It's like being on the mats. Being on the mats. It's a beautiful concept I talk to the students about. And then the idea of that I could show you a technique, literally hands down, it was 100% would work 100% of the time if you applied it. And majority of the time, you, especially when we get into our specific training, will not attempt to it because you'll falter to your comfort. And that is a correlation of our internal discipline. Someone's now resisting you. Someone is now not wanting you to do that technique. And it's hard to continue to try to do that technique because you're like, man, it's not working. But instead of saying, why isn't this working? We abandon it. And it takes that internal discipline to be like, no, I'm not going to abandon this. I'm going to get good at this technique. If I don't get good at this technique, I'm at least going to better understand this technique and understand how they're shutting me down and what are the steps that I need. Now you apply that to your life. A great example is me. After retiring from the Marine Corps, I stepped into the unknown for the longest time. And I didn't have that structure of discipline forcing me and guiding me and showing me. And I was alone. And it was one of the hardest transitions that I ever experienced. Leaving the Marine Corps was a true trial and tribulation, not physically, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, to strive to find purpose and to feel that you're cast upon the stones and the rocks and the storm, and to have no one there as a support to understand. Now, there were people I worked with, but I hadn't gained that type of connection that I had had with the Marines and the firefighters that I had served. Like I said, majority of the brotherhoods are based off of trials and tribulations, and that's why jiu-jitsu is so strong, right? Because you're going through trials and tribulations together. That's why that brotherhood is so tight. And I didn't have that. And I had to immediately, it was scary. And you had to work on that. And you have to be cognizant of that. And that's another thing I think that jiu-jitsu does in bettering our lives. But it's not the end. I kind of am going into this message a little bit longer. I've lost a couple friends recently because I felt like they were in that situation. We have to remind ourselves that we're not alone. And that while this may be difficult, it does not last. And what can we learn from it, and how can we become better? And it's okay to fail. You're going to fail. Very rare do you get something right away. It's not like it just magically appears. It comes from consistency and the discipline to return. Oceanside Tribe, these times that we are experiencing, especially with 2020, have been chaotic and have been crazy and has taken us for one heck of a roller coaster ride. But we're stronger than we were in the beginning of the year. You may not see it, but you are, because you're here. Remember, if you're here now, you're batting 1,000 because you've lived through everything else and you have survived. So don't stop now. Don't give up now. Work on that internal discipline. Push forward and achieve whatever success is to you. I hope this message finds you safe, healthy, and in good spirits. And I'll see you on the mats. Os.